Well, well. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the one and the only big time show in the building. Cowboys make big news today. As you should know by now, any news is big news in Cowboy land. Cowboys have made a decision on their new defensive coordinator. And it is Christian Parker. How y'all feel about it? I'm going to start it that way. How y'all feel about it? Hello to everybody. Hello to everybody that may be popping in on me. Hope you guys will come in and share as much as you can. Come in and share. I realize that others are on, and this is kind of like prime time for content creators. The news is too hot to let go of. And so we are going to put in our little 2 cents tonight. Hopefully you will help me in the chat box about what you're feeling about it. Hello to all of you that are on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, Twitter. Hope you guys are having a great evening. What y'all feel about it? Put it in the chat. Christian Parker. Fan base may be a little sick tonight because that name was not really called out like the others. Matter of fact, may not even be your favorite. The Jim Leonards, the Ronte Jones, the Brian Flores, those were the Gannons, for those of you that like Mr. Gannon. It's almost like the Cowboys came through the back door on us, huh? That's what it sounds like. What y'all feel about it? What y'all feel about it? I need to know. All right, off the top. A lot of people don't know the cat. I get it. A lot of people don't know Christian Parker. So now what's got to happen is that a lot of people are going to have to tell, the story about him, and everybody kind of got to play catch up with him now because a lot of people don't know him at all. But let me say this, just because you don't know him, it does not mean that there's nothing behind his name for him to warrant that job of defensive coordinator. There's a reason why he got it, y'all. It's the reason why he got it. I hope you guys will share while we in here together tonight. I'm going to share it in a few more places. Let's see if we can generate some type of if we could generate some things in here. Okay, why am I not seeing my stuff here? Interesting. Those that are on the Big Time Show, if you're on the Big Time Show right now, hit up something because I'm not seeing. I just put through comments here and I cannot see it on here. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. All I see is somebody trying to sell me something on Kick. And I know I just changed. I see yours, but it's not popping up under here. Okay. Why am I not seeing your comment right there under the screen? I can see it, Shane. I see you commented right here. But I can't see it up there. Oh, I don't like that. Shane says, I understand that he's a great teacher of what he wants. Hey, Tamika, I see your comment right there, but I don't see it right up here, which is right below me, and this big old apple head I got. I don't see why I don't see that. I don't like that. And it's janky. Let me see if I see something. Okay, I see me. I just typed something in, but I don't see y'all comment. I don't see that. I don't like that. Are y'all on the Big Time Show, Shane, Tamika? Are y'all on my my personal page? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But anyway, let me go on with the show. I'm gonna try to keep up with y'all right here. Hello to you guys that are on TikTok. What up, Tim? Tim says, what do I think about on TikTok? What do I think about the new hire for defensive coordinator? I'm getting ready to tell y'all that in just a second. I need to change something there before I get started. Y'all go ahead and share while I'm building the plane, as they say. I got to start off with an apology. You're on my personal Facebook page, Tamika, or are you on the Big Time Show page? Are you on the Big Time Show page? I know you're on Facebook. I see that. But are you on which page? Are you on my personal page or you on the Big Time Show page? That's what I need to know. Thank y'all too for helping me out. What I was just trying to say. Okay. Tim, I see you on TikTok. I see you. I appreciate you. Christian Parker. Shane, what you think so far? I heard what you said. You're on Big Time, both of y'all on there. Okay. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Kind of thrown off about it. Okay. I got you on my phone so I can see you. If I don't see y'all, then forgive me. I'm looking at my phone. It's below me, but I can see you guys. Okay. All right. Let's go to work here real quick. I need to start off with an apology. Because I was on this morning. If you didn't see me for the ride, I was on this morning and I closed with racism. And I, in a very smooth way, assumed that Jerry would never give the keys, at least on that effect, to be the top man on defense. I believe Jerry will hire assistant coaches. Okay. I did that, but I never thought that Jerry would give the defensive coordinator position to a black man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And on tonight, as I said this morning, because my mind was saying Durante Jones and Jim Leonard. I thought that maybe they were waiting on Leonard. I thought that Durante would not get the job just because, or partially because of his skin. No sense in me lying about it. So that's what I thought. I'm wrong. I told you guys this morning that, hey, if Durante got it, I'd be the first to come on here and say I was wrong. It was not Durante, but it was another black man now that has the job. Christian Parker is a black man, and they gave him the job. Whether that was Jerry or Stevens' guy or not, whether it was Shoddy's guy, they gave him the job. And I am wrong. At least on that part. I'm definitely wrong. Definitely 1,000,000% wrong. And I have to officially apologize for misjudgment of character, at least on this end, with Jerry Jones. I do. I never thought that he would do it. He did it. So there's my apology. I'm wrong 100%. I talked to Boss Cowboy, who's on right now on Boss Land, with I think Landlord and maybe somebody else. I don't know, but just maybe Landlord. I talked to him before I came on, and I'm quite sure they're talking about the same thing. But I pass on what I heard, um, that they loved Durante Jones, but they thought he was too headstrong, like Brian Flores. And Jerry, of course, don't like headstrong people. I did. Durante Jones was not a great hire or a great suggestion. It's just that, it fits the Cowboys, in particular Jerry and Stevens' way of having a guy who they believe or think they can control and put their hands in. From what I'm understanding, that Durante Jones was a kind of like Brian Flores. You expect that because that's who he rolls with. That he was a headstrong type of guy, and we know that Jerry and Steven, or particularly Jerry, does not like headstrong people, players or coaches. He got rid of Jimmy Johnson, too headstrong. Didn't like Parcells too much, headstrong. You don't want a guy like that in the building. Want that type of guy that play like that on the field, but a headstrong guy. And that's what I heard from Boston, of course. When you start hearing that, you got connections everywhere. That's for those that want Durante Jones. That's who I wanted. So that's who I wanted. Christian Parker was kind of like my third. I wanted Leonard. I remember I said I want the best of the best. So whoever the best is, that's who I want. I had Parker third on my list. The reason why I had Leonard there is because Leonard at least has had experience, not on the pro level, but he has had experience on a level that's right next to the NFL as a defensive coordinator, and that was at Wisconsin. That has to count for something. At least he knows the game planning, considering he was a player himself for years. Know what a preparation week looks like, knows what to do because he was a part of it. And so he brings that, and plus, the motivation. He played under some great coaches, and while he played, come on, Leonard is not no slouch. He was second. I thought Durante was one. Parker was third for me. And the reason why I said Parker is because, hey, Jason, I see you. The reason why I said Parker is because Parker comes under, has coached with Vic Fangio, of course, with Philadelphia. That's where he was last year. And then he also coached under Vance Joseph. Now that's NFL royalty in the last 20 years or so. Vic Fangio is considered to be one of the best in the game from the defensive coordinator position. He coached under him. Vance Joseph, recognizably known as a great defensive mind. Then you look at his position, which is defensive back coach. So then you got to say, okay, well, what has Christian Parker produced from his coaching or playing hands-on? He had Patrick Surtain. I don't have to say anything about him. And then just this year, this season here, he produced 2 first-team All-Pros at the cornerback position. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell from the Eagles. Just in case you didn't know, even Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are first-team All-Pros this season. He was the defensive back coach. If you like Al Harris so much, then you got to have some type of liking for a guy who produced 2 first-team All-Pros from his team this season. He had a lot to do with that since he was the defensive back coach, secondary coach. He had, you got to give him credit. If a lot of you wanted Al Harris, DeJean and Quinyon Mental balled out this year. So you got to give him some credit. So he comes with some credentials. There's no question about it. Like I said, I had him third myself. That's me. No, he's not. Has not been a coordinator. No, he has not called an NFL game. Not one call was his. However, he's obviously well respected around the coaching league fraternity. He's well known, obviously, there. And you got to count out. I know you don't know him. This is Coach Marr. Hold on a second. Coach Marr, I'm live right now, but since it's you, hey, I mean, you got perfect timing. What you doing?
Hey, man.
Since you live right now. I ought to send you the link.
Yeah, you send me the link, man. I'm ready, man. I just came up live. Yeah, send me the link.
I'm gonna hang up, send you the link. You jump on with me. I just got on. I've been on about 20 minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you now. Cause I got Coach Marv. He'll join in. And, yeah, it's a second. I'm gonna send him the link. How y'all doing? Y'all put in what y'all feel about it so far. Those of you that on YouTube, I can't even see y'all. Why can't I see y'all comment? Oh, I can't even read it. What in the world is going on? Wow. Let me get this. Y'all bear with me real quick. I'm going to send this to Coach Marv. See if I can. It is. Coach Marv. This is what you call literally building the plane. Impromptu stuff. All right. Sent them that. I'm quite sure Coach will come in. I don't know what Coach Marv gonna say. Me personally, like I said, I thought he was third on my list. Those of you that are on YouTube, listen, I'm gonna switch over to the YouTube channel real quick. And I am going to see your comments, so forgive me. I hate to do that. Got some crazy stuff going on. I don't know why it's doing this, but I'm coming to YouTube right now, y'all. Let me get here. I apologize, YouTube. I don't know what's going on. I see y'all. Okay, I'm seeing everybody. Hold the Hound. Coach is in the building. My brother is here. Let me get him squared away. Make sure he's in here. I'm coming, Coach. Coach Marv, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear. Good. Hello to all. Did you add your channels, Coach?
No, don't worry about it. I just came off, man. I just came out. I need to get this out, man. It was I hate to say what a conspiracy theory I have. We got this new news about Christian Parker. Maybe look at his resume. It's not.
He don't have none. Other than being a position coach, like just about like everybody else was. But I'm just saying
and it's I say that because I remember me going from and I know it's a different thing, but I remember me going from being the defensive line, offensive line coach to my first coordinator position of defense coordinator, and my head coach telling me saying, "Hey, you just don't work with the defensive guys, defensive line no more. You got to you got to coach the coaches under you now."
Yeah.
And meantime, this as being a pastor. When you become head of a church, you have to minister to deacons.
Yes, sir.
And so the way your flow of your organization of your defense flow, and when you're a defense coordinator, is the mindset has to come through you. And as I posted on Twitter today, I mean, the first thing I posted today was that Mr. Parker, first time defensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. And I hear a lot of people talking about his development of players. Okay. Yes, that's the greatest thing, the most important thing for a assistant coach to do is develop players.
Because he's hands-on.
The assistant coach is supposed to develop players.
Yeah.
But the greatest thing for a coordinator, defense coordinator, is to be able to get the coaches and the players on the same accord with his mentality of how he wants to run a defense and to make sure that everybody knows the do's and don'ts in his defense. Getting everybody on the same page and getting a staff that's going to be able to get that over to their players. Just like when Fangio, what he did, what Parker has done for all the other guys that he had made look good as defense coordinators, he got to find those type of guys to have on his staff. But does he have a big Rolodex of those guys at 34 years old?
Yeah.
or is he going to go with the guys that the Cowboys already got that's here that had a defense that was butt naked last in the NFL? Is he going to go with those guys?
Yeah. He can't do nothing but go up. I mean, considering we were last in the league, but to what extent? I think the unknown coaches was you don't know nothing about him. But let me ask you this, Coach, just to see, because I haven't heard. I'm quite sure you had one. Who were your top three?
Well, my first one would have been if Raheem Morris didn't get a job, head coach job, I would have been all out to make him my defense coordinator here.
Okay.
That would have been my first. And the reason why, and I expressed that, the reason why I would have wanted him to be here, because I don't think he's going to get another head coaching job.
No.
I don't think he's not. And I think he would have been a long-term solution here for a long time because of the fact that he has skins on the wall. He has coordinated before with some good coaches, but he has put things together, and he has a level of when he comes in to say something, he has a level of respect to him. And in this environment, you need that. You can't. It's hard for a rookie coordinator to be a good person here in Dallas. I always said this on your show before. Dallas is like raising a kid in the worst ghetto in the United States.
Yeah,
because there's so many distractions, so many things going on. This is not like coaching in San Diego. LA. This is not like coaching in Chicago, New York. This is a whole different environment. And what I'm scared is that this guy that you brought in is one of those Shane Gailey, because you try to give him that big break because you thought he was a diamond in the rough. Dave Campbell, because you thought he was a diamond in the rough. We're going to give him a chance. The Jason Garrett.
So are you saying the Cowboys are trying to get lucky here?
We're reaching,
trying to get lucky.
We're reaching at this point, and what I think this is going to turn out, and I'm so scared with this big time. If I hear them get in this meeting, in this press conference, and says that this is a collective unit on the defense,
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, White Cotton, which I know he's here, he's gonna be here.
Yeah.
He's gonna handle the run game, and we just bought a glorified defensive back coach in here for the passing game.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like. This is what this looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. Because as we speak, White Cotton is one of the coaches representing the Cowboys for the East-West Shrine game. So you already got one coach on your staff without a doubt. You see what I'm saying? Even if you wanted a different defensive line coach, you ain't got no say-so over that. White Cotton gonna be here.
Mm-hmm.
Which usually when you bring in a coordinator, the coordinator usually comes in and makes his own staff from the rooter to the tutor, if you want me to say that.
That's right.
So once again, the Cowboys, Jerry and Steven always find a way to plug their guy into the mix. I don't know if that means shoddy or whatever the case may be. It's kind of backwards off the top.
So think about it like this. If you already, in which I'm quite sure they already gave White Cotton some leeway, because they said, okay, they let him interview for the job, and they probably said, well, you're going to be an integral part of this defense, right?
Yeah. Yes. So let's not forget, Coach, that White Cotton is Quinn Williams' guy.
Okay, yeah. So I
mean, you ain't finna piss off Quinn Williams
right.
by no means by letting his coach go, the one that did it. And I'm quite sure by now Clark and maybe Osa come back and say, hey, this is a good coach. We want to roll with him.
Okay.
I bet you that's the case.
Yeah, and so you give him some autonomy and say, okay. But he says in his interview is, well, yes, I could, and they were like, man, we're very impressed. And we probably could make him a defensive coordinator, but he doesn't, the passing game is not his specialty. Yeah. So let's go get somebody that's got a specialty in the passing game, and let's be innovative and say we got a defense by committee.
There you go.
I can see, this smells just like that.
Yeah. I mean, but it's almost kind of like what they did with Brian Schottenheimer. When Eberflus got hired, they were saying, well, he comes in the head coach and he can help Schottenheimer in the head coaching ranks because he was already a head coach. You kind of figure like this dude is a secondary coach. He don't know nothing about the trenches, but White Cotton do. So we're gonna keep White Cotton there and gonna let him take care of the back end. And who's the leader? I see where you going.
They think we stupid, man. They think that we that we don't see the tea leaves in this because you interview White Cotton, then you sit him down to win it. Now remember this, that they don't tell you this. White Cotton was just on a 1-year contract. So you already done gave him a centralized contract just to get him to go down to the Senior Bowl because he really ain't on staff no more. Exactly. So you already assigned him. That's already done.
Yeah, because if he didn't, he'll be trying to get another job somewhere else by now.
Now, so what you doing is you done promised him he's gonna get a job.
He's gonna be on the staff.
He's gonna be on the staff. You brought in a guy that's basically a glorified. His only thing that he's got skins on the wall is that he's had 1 year of passing game coordinator. Mm-hmm. And he worked with some defensive backs, some young defensive backs, and he said he got them, he developed. You ain't develop a guy in 1 year. That's not developed. If you were talking about development, did he develop somebody at my alma mater, Norfolk State, when he coached at Norfolk State? Because he was at Norfolk State. Did he develop somebody at Virginia State? Did we mention any of those guys?
He's hanging his hat on Surtain, and then he's also hanging his hat on this season because 2 of his cornerbacks, first team all pros this year. So that's what brings him to the game. And then I believe it's also, Coach, another important part that you just can't knock away. You pull away this coach that developed 2 all pros this season and you pull him away from your division rival. And Dallas kind of saying like, yeah, we took your coach away, so we're going to try to make you weaker. The same way that Kellen Moore was taken away from them and now they can't run the ball. So you kind of hope that this don't mess up their secondary, but Vic Fangio's still there. So that's a defensive mind right there. He'll figure it out. You see what I'm saying?
And that's to me the main fella he has in his cap to me is that he coached under Fangio when Fangio was in Denver, and when Fangio got to Philadelphia, he went and got him and brought him to Philadelphia. So that means something. That's the only thing, because he went and said, "Hey, I'm going to get this guy because we're going to go young. So I want this guy to coach right now." Yeah. The thing about him with Surtain, I've always said this: giving him credit for the development of Surtain is telling somebody they put a flashlight on the sun and made the sun visible.
Yeah, because the truth be told, it was Coach Saban that developed.
Yeah, he's already the sun. You put a flashlight on the dog. Yeah, you put a flashlight on the sun. That's not making it. That's not making it stand out. It's already gonna stand out. That's not you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So again, but if you go to, and here's your philosophy when you talking about it when he got him from the Eagles. If you go get him from the Eagles, you have to bring him in with a higher a different position. You can't go and say, we want you to come in and be cornerbacks in the same position. So what you do is you bring him in and you say, okay, you're a defensive coordinator, and watch where they try to push this thing about. It's gonna come out and say, well, basically we really running like, a committee, co-defensive coordinators, because White Cotton has got a bigger role on this defense. Mm-hmm. How you gonna get two guys that probably have no link to each other, and then you're gonna get them to put them on TV? We think continuity is gonna work, because I don't think people understand this. Continuity on defense is way more important than it is on offense.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got to be. It's got to have a certain mentality.
If it wasn't 1 year that we didn't know that coach, it was this season.
and that's how and then so on my live, I just said, we're making this guy that's coming here as a defense coordinator. Are we making him come in here and he has to win the coaches? See
who the coaches though, coach? That's what I'm saying. But who are the coaches? Like,
whatever coaches, if he doesn't bring in the coaches, you got the coaches pick for him, right?
Let me ask you this, coach. Don't you think? Because I think he did 2 interviews. I think he did. I know he did 1 for sure, but I believe he did 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't they ask him something like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who would he bring? Because I mean, if they already got a ready-made, like if they got 2 or 3 White Cottons, then that ain't good. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
But this is the thing, though.
I'm saying like, wouldn't you as an organization? I had never been in a meeting like an interview like that when you start asking coaches like that. I get the head coach thing. I'm quite sure that comes up, like, do you have a staff ready, prepared? Give me your list.
That's even like, asking high school.
I'm saying, are they asking that same thing for a position coach? Like, who you got? And then let us look at that. And that's what I'm wondering.
That's even asked in high school. When you come in and you get a head coaching job at high school. When I hired a guy that was to be my offense coordinator for 1 year, the first thing I asked him was, you want to bring in your guys with you that that's going to coach under you, running backs or receiver that you may know that you might want to see if we can get on our staff, right? And yes, I got to know these guys and say because I want you to feel comfortable with the guys that you bringing in. Now, if I got somebody that's saying, well, this guy's going to stay with, but hey, I want you to feel comfortable for bringing your stuff in, your people in. They probably asked him. Yes, if he's talking about they're going to try to give him a job, they asked him this question. But this is the problem. This is where you run into the problem at. If you're giving him, and I always say I never want a position where people feel like they're giving you a break, right? Not that you earned it. They're giving you a break. I'm quite sure when they talking about they negotiating and they negotiating the deal and they got to go through all this negotiating of the deal. I'm quite sure it ain't $4 million that you gave Matt Eberflus. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. It ain't that.
No.
So if you got a lower salary because this is a first opportunity for you to be a defensive coordinator,
yeah,
and you really alone, we trying to give you a shot. How you gonna tell them who you gonna bring? What you gonna bring them with?
Yeah, that's the part that I'm really worried. I'm really kind of anxious to see who his position coach is gonna be. That's what I want to know. I already know he got defensive line coach. That's White Cotton. I need to know linebacker coach and all that type of stuff. That's all that.
He may have all those guys. They may like some of those guys in the room. And if he keeps a 90% of these guys because they like them, and Scheidenheim say he liked them, and they keep these guys and see a lot of the people in Dallas Cowboy community think is, oh, we get rid of Matt Eberflus. That was the end all tell all. With nobody else the problem because it was the scheme. It was the scheme.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you this: if this guy has to win the coaching, let me get back to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you have his coaches there, most of them, and he has to come in the room and he has to win the coaches, you got a major problem. A coordinator shouldn't have to come win the coaches. He should already have the coaches' confidence. He needs to win the players. They need to he need the coaches together, and we need to go win the players. If I got to come win the coaches first, what if I don't win all of them?
Well, you behind the 8 ball from the start.
I'm gonna win the players.
Yeah. So that leads to what that leads to my well, it don't lead to it. I had already said it. I'm saying, like, I'm quite sure that came up in the interview question, and I guess all that will be revealed in the next few weeks. Really, it's not going to be the next few weeks because, like Coach said, the Senior Bowl is within 2 weeks. The East-West Shrine game is this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
So this kid is about to jump on that plane immediately and go down there to watch some of these college all-star games, and then of course he's in place for the Senior Bowl, the next college all-star game, which is good. I'm glad that we got that he can make that plane and tell people what he likes on that part. Explain this to me, Coach. I mean, I got an answer, but you're a coach and and you probably didn't have this experience, but if you have, correct me if I'm wrong. Explain the process of, because a lot of people are saying, okay, this dude ain't never called and he has not called a game, and he's a secondary coach. I'm not saying he's not aware of linebacker and defensive line, but that's not his forte. It's not his specialty. He's obviously knows what he's doing from the defensive back position or secondary coach position. We got to give him some credit on that. But the jump to now be all of a sudden to be a play caller when you never been one and you've been predominantly just if I guess that you flip the coin and say, well, you just a defensive line coach. Now you the guy. Explain the jump. And he's 34 years old. I guess age really ain't got nothing to do with it. He comes from Fangio and Vance Joseph. I didn't say that earlier. Vance Joseph is a great coach, obviously. Explain, how comfortable you are with a guy that has never coached on the NFL level, never made one call. The very first call in week 1 on defense will be his first call. His very first call on this level. And he's never done it before. And I know you're going to go with Raheem. That's why you need somebody like Raheem, who's done all angles of the defense. But for a first-time guy, what kind of transition is that? I'm just saying, like, I ain't saying the boy don't know ball. I know he know ball. But come on, talk to me on that. Because a lot of people don't understand that.
He's a bright mind. He's probably a bright-minded guy. The reason why he interviewed for Ed Water tried to say he interviewed for the Packers defense coordinator, but they went with another guy. Well, they probably went with another guy because he was more experienced than this guy. That's why he probably lost out, right?
Yes.
But I tell people, when you're coaching the defense, when you're the coordinator, just like my tweet said, right? When you're the coordinator, you have to coach the coaches. So you have to have an idea and a philosophy of how my defensive line and my scheme must play and how I want them to play. You must have a philosophy of how my linebackers in my scheme and how I want them to play. How my secondary in my scheme and how I want them to play. And that is relayed to your assistant coaches because that's your basic philosophy. You can't go in there and say, well, D-line, you the D-line coach, you whatever way you want them to play, and I'll coordinate my scheme to where you want to play. No, it's a philosophy. So when he goes up on that podium and somebody asks him a question and says, well, what about your defensive line and how they playing? He has to be the one that says, our defensive line is supposed to be doing this and that because in my scheme, this is how I want them to play. Now, how you coach the coaches in how you want them to play, and the coaches give you the best product that fits your scheme with the basic principles of your scheme. Okay. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You are the coordinator. You coach the coaches. Everything goes through you. There's no things that my linebacker was doing this and I ain't know nothing about him. That's what the linebacker coach picked. No. The basic scheme comes from you. So this is a challenge for this coach because he has never been in a position where he had to coach the coaches. He ain't never been a high school head coach. He ain't never been a high school defensive coordinator. He ain't never been nowhere where he had control over the whole unit. The only thing he had control over was in Philadelphia, he was the passing game coordinator, which that put him over all the coverages they run. He the one to come up with the game plan for the coverages that we're gonna run in against this team. That's why I said big time. This may be a glorified passing game coordinator with a defensive coordinator, run game coordinator, and it may be a collective group that they put together to be the defense, running the defense in Dallas. This would shock me in Dallas. This is how Dallas do things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want to be innovative. But I would say this big time, and this is something we maybe at one time somebody might need to do a show with this or whatever. You know what the Jerry them biggest problem is not getting free agents. It's not even drafting. The biggest job of a general manager is to hire coaches. That's their first job. You see coaches all around this league, DMs all around the league. When the coach get fired, guess who get fired with them?
Yeah.
Their GM is not their job to draft players. That's for the scouting people, right? Jerry ain't going out there watching no players. The scout people tell him who they want. The biggest job for a GM is the coaches that he hired. And Jerry, for 30 years, has failed at hiring coaches.
Let me say this then, based off of that, and for all you Cowboy fans, everybody in the chat, let's just be honest. Jerry Jones don't know nothing about no Christian Parker. Nothing. He hired him on a flim and obviously by recommendation. And I guarantee you that the biggest one that came out of that, this is, for all of you saying this is a shoddy hire, I'm probably gonna lean your way on that note. I don't know how much Will McClay knows about this dude, but Jerry and Steven don't know nothing about this coach. So a lot of y'all say let Shotty cook or whatever, let Shotty pick his guy. I believe you got your wish on this one. Now the pressure's gonna be on Shotty now. For real. He whatever kind of I guess whatever head you had around him, that's gone now. It's done.
It might be a shoddy job, hire, but let's be honest with it. If it was his hire, right? It's one of those hires that he's protecting himself. He was not intimidated by Matt Eberflus because Matt Eberflus got fired in Chicago bad. It was bad.
Exactly.
So he wasn't worried about Matt Eberflus taking his job in Dallas because it was bad when he came out of Chicago.
Let me ask you this, coach.
And the offense coordinator was a guy that moved up, so he ain't worried about that guy taking over. You bring in a Raheem Morris here or a Flores here, or a
those type dudes.
or one of these other
No,
guys.
they too headstrong. They too headstrong.
Yeah, and they do the defense well.
Yeah.
He'll be just like it'll be even worse than Quinn with McCarthy.
Let me ask you this, Coach, and this just what we're talking about. Would you have been more comfortable with the names that we heard the most? The name that we heard the most was Leonard. And I guess the only difference between him and Parker was at least Leonard did, it wasn't on the pro level, but he was a coordinator in Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would you have been more comfortable with Leonard instead of this dude here?
Yes.
Explain why. Just explain why. What's going on?
Put a defense together.
Okay.
He has constructed a defense with passing and running. All that had to come through Leonard and his system.
Okay.
He knows how it is a different feeling from being a coordinator to being a position coach. There is more responsibilities. There's less time for going out to individually coach. Remind you this: every defensive coordinator has his specialty.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Eagleflu's specialty was linebackers. That's what he brought. That's what he cut his teeth on as a position coach.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Quinn was defensive lineman. That's what he cut his teeth on as defensive line coach. So that's why he flowed over there to the defensive line group a lot doing his tenure here, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Eagleflu flowed to the linebacker. Bill Belichick flowed to the defensive backs more because that was his forte, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every coach, every defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator have their own things that they're specialty that they coach at.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a difference when you have to be responsible, because when that defensive line coach come to you and say, "Well, coach, how you want us to play this?" You can't say, "Well, you figure it out." No, you got to be able to say, "This is where I want my defensive line to play." Then they told me a lot of people say he's a 3-4 guy. Parker's a 3-4 guy. Okay.
And he run a cover. What they say, run a cover 3. He run a lot of zone he did, like he flew.
Oh, that's fine. We watch it, and I keep trying to tell people we watch the zones all through this playoffs, but you don't look like zones. It's based on how you play it. Play it aggressive. Is aggressive. You play it lax like we did, soft. Aggressive. It looks that way.
Yeah.
But I say this: if you playing a 3-4, okay. White Cotton has always came from an attack style defensive line, just getting up the field. Now he's got to change his defensive line. They ain't gonna be just running up the field now.
I saw something, Coach, where it said that the dude, but see how we know he like when he never called it. So, that's why I was saying like they had a report out say that he like the 5-man front, but I'm saying how you know he ain't never. You know, we ain't never seen what his defense really is. I'm quite sure he's going to look at some film and say, okay, these guys look a lot better when they have a 5-man front. I'm quite sure White Cotton is going to relay that message to him, and the film going to kind of show that they at least played better when you had, Osa and Clark and Quinn on the field at the same time. Well, I'm quite sure they're going to show it. My question is, though, if that ain't never been your spot, before, now all of a sudden you finna run a defense, you're really a virgin. You know what I'm saying? Well, you're a virgin at making that type of defense.
Okay, let's look at what we gonna see, and this is what you're gonna see from this young coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna create the wheel.
No,
right?
Mm-hmm.
When he says he run a lot of 5-man front, let's give you a little history of that. The Eagles went to a lot of 5-man front when they had a problem with stopping the run before Fangio got there. When Fangio got there, he incorporated more of a 5-man front. That's how they started shutting the run down, and they started dominating with that, and that's where they came in. Cowboys brought that in at the end with a 5-man front. A lot of his basic coverage is going to be like what Fangio has. Now, one thing about Fangio is not trying to trick you.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't going to trick you. I heard some people talk about where he like to be tricking. He's got his disguise and stuff. Disguise in defensive terms work for like week 2, and then that disguise stuff is over. But if he's like Fangio, he's going to work off a basic discipline type defense where they are going to be very disciplined in what they do. That's why the Eagles defense became number one. They became very disciplined and very physical in what they do.
Incredibly physical.
So you're going to see that. He's not going to be all this, whenever he's going to be very basic and very disciplined. That's if he's a disciple of Joseph, which Joseph is a very basic physical type coach where they're very disciplined in what they do. Fangio does not try to trick you, but what they do it well, and they make you adjust to them because they're going to be disciplined in what they do.
Yeah.
So that's where he's going to probably come with the discipline of doing what he's going to do. Now, if he can get that apart over, it's going to be important. I think more important for him coming in here and being successful is, can he bring a mentality like I said on my show a week ago?
Yeah.
The defensive coordinator here has to be that he has to have a mentality that this is a defense first team. And everything rides on us. And I don't care what Dak does, what
we know the offense stat.
Whatever.
Yeah.
When it comes through here, we are the rulers on this team, and they dominate the offense doing what they
practice.
They dominate. They got to have that mentality, because when they had that mentality about Quinn's first year here, right, and they were talking about we gonna score more than the offense.
Yeah,
that was the best defense we had in a long time.
Turnovers galore.
And that's right. They were 12th in scoring defense, and that's why I tell people that it ain't impossible, and you ain't got to get no whole bunch of free agents.
No,
because we went from last in defense when Quinn's first year to 12th in scoring defense that next year to a top 15 defense, right?
Yeah.
And how we did this big time, let's look at how we did it. We drafted a rookie Michael Parsons, a rookie Oster, a rookie, we drafted 7 defensive players that year, right? We brought in a guy from Tampa Bay, the big linebacker that was a safety.
Yeah.
We brought Curse in here, Jerron Curse from Minnesota. He had never started a full season in the NFL ever till he got to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Wilson was his first year starting for us at State.
Exactly. It's strong.
That was the first year that Randy Gregory started full time in the NFL.
Wow.
We had D-Law, we had LV at linebacker, we had a Jalen Smith at linebacker, we had an Anthony Brown that everybody talked about like crazy for the longest, and a Trayvon Diggs in his second year. And we went from butt naked last all the way to 12th defense. And you don't think we got a better nucleus now? So we had 2 first-round draft picks. If we got the right mentality, you don't think we can't be better? Yeah.
So I'm glad you leaned that way. So we'll close with this, Coach. And I'm quite sure you're going to crank your show up. Everybody that's not following Coach Mar, you know him. I mean, come on now. Coach Mar, one of the best in the game. Just go follow him on Coach Mar on YouTube. Talk. Coach Mar Real Talk on Facebook and YouTube. Just follow him. Go subscribe to his show. But let me close with this, Coach. Now that you got this dude, they're gonna lean on him in their war room now. And how much you want to bet that the 12th pick is gonna be corner now? How much you want to bet? I mean, we need it, but I'm just saying. I mean, you can pick your choice. Everybody say we need linebacker. Everybody say we need edge. A lot of people say we need corner. But when you hire this guy, I wouldn't be surprised now that that first pick at 12 will be a corner.
You know what the first pick is going to be, and this guy's a secondary guy. You know what he's going to pick? If you don't get this safety room with,
yeah. You always
and I'll say this, and I'm going to say this.
Saying that, Coach.
I'm going to say this. The best secondaries have the best safety rooms in football. They control the back end. They control the physicality. They control the space that the corners have to play. They make the corners trust them. They've set the corners up to be successful. You can be somewhere mediocre and have outstanding safeties, and they can run the back end.
Let me play devil's advocate, Coach. Downs ain't gonna be there at 12. So now what you do?
Listen, this what I would say. The guys that Philadelphia drafted, those two guys that they drafted, the year they won the Super Bowl, both of those guys were rookies. The ones they talk about, right?
Rookie
corner. They weren't ones that people said, "Oh man, they was no brainer first starters."
Mm-hmm.
This is what you pay a guy when you say a guy can see talent and he stresses a guy to get a guy to play well. And guess what? There's probably guys that's on this roster that could probably play very well, but they have to be given confidence and they have to practice. They have to get them ready. I can say it like this. If we would have said we would have go ahead with Nashawn Wright when he showed us something good, but we waiting for a guy to be perfect, he probably would have still been here. But you know what our fan base say? We get a guy and put him out there, and he get a couple of balls caught, and we start saying he getting cooked.
Yeah.
And everybody get balls caught on him.
Yeah.
So safety is going to be the first thing they're going to do. And I'll say it like this, big time. You're going to hear some things that's going to come from out of this Dallas Cowboy camp. And when you hear them, they think about Coach Marv, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things when they start building this defense, they're going to talk about speed. This defense was slow. They're going to say we're going to need big more speed in this defense. What do I tell you now? It's going to come out, and they're going to say this back end was ultimately non-physical at nowhere. They got to improve that. And when you start hearing that, think about what I've been preaching since week.
Oh, I've been hearing you call safety for the last 2 years. He ain't just started. You've been saying safety for the last 2 years. I know that.
I went to the big time. I went to the Green Bay game, and that was way back in week 6, right?
Yeah.
And somebody go back and watch my show. I did a show in Dallas right after I did a live stream right after the game, and I watched it live. And I said at that particular point in time, if our cornerbacks and our safeties lost that game because they refused, they turned down tackles.
Yeah.
And I had the people in the stand because you know how they put it on the Jumbotron, and I'm watching it and I'm going crazy. And everybody, and then they start replaying the and everybody in the stands, a whole group was saying, "Oh, you right."
Yeah.
Look at Diggs and look at Elam, not even attempt to make tackles.
Yeah.
And then when they finally let Elam go, right? And then I was talking to one of my friends that that got some inside information in that locker room. And what coaches said, told Elam saying, "Man, you turning down tackles left and right."
Yeah.
And then somebody pointed out that Elam played 7 games. 7 games. They threw about 35 screens against us in those 7 games.
Yeah.
Right?
Killing us with it. Killing us.
And you know when Elam got cut, you know how many tackles he had?
Was he the leading tackler at the time?
No. He had 5 tackles. So when you allow that guy to play 7 games, you just kill the spirit of your defense.
He averages 0.3 tackles per game
with opportunities galore and no tackles. When you got Tony Romo pointing out on a live telecast about how you let the run go because you didn't feel the lane. Listen, when Tony Romo does that, that's not something he saw that day. That's something they've been talking about doing the film study all week long.
Yeah, Romo watched film, so you know.
And he saw it all week long, and he was waiting for a chance for it to happen on there for you to say, "Let me point this out," because this guy right here, I've been watching him.
Coach. Coach, how many games did Elam play? You said
7 games, 5 tackles.
How many tackles he had, Coach?
5 tackles with 35 screens they run at him. He still ain't got but 5 tackles.
How you gonna win like that, Coach? You can't win like
It's
that.
not
Your
only-
secondary not physical.
This is not the point like this.
Wow.
Your safeties, your safety, Donovan Wilson was slow and his body is not good. Every time he make a tackle, he hurt.
Yeah, exactly. You think the injuries done caught up to Donovan?
Yeah, his body.
His body just
listen,
gone.
And this is another part that's going to help the defensive back. Let's go in a training camp where everybody ain't in the mass unit.
Or go get these bottom feeder free agents that's coming in.
Hold up. Listen, when you go into training camp, you go in there with Butler on the IR. You go into training camp with Diggs on the IR.
Bland just coming off surgery again.
Bland coming off surgery. You go into training camp and doing the training camp, Wilson and Hooker sitting out because they got injuries. Yeah. Then you say we're gonna put this together. We don't even know if the guy's healthy. Yeah. Then we put them together, and then everybody say we got a bunch of unhealthy guys back there, and everybody talking about playing man to man. They guys know that they were like, man, we can't play man to man. One, you don't tackle. How am I play man to man? You ain't gonna tackle.
Well, you can't run.
Then we slow as molasses going up till wintertime. There is no, and what scheme? And then when you allow Elam to go out there. And then I posted, I remember in the Chicago game when Swift got that receiver, got that screen pass, and I posted it, right? And I watched, I said, watch this effort by the whole secondary where everybody looked like they were waiting on somebody else to make the tackle. And the guy just running down the field and people running away from him. Not running towards him, running away from him.
Yeah.
And I said, there's a cancer in that back end. And when you allow Elam to be out there, and what Diggs was doing early in the season, turning down tackles, diving at people's feet. So when we saw that at Dallas, when he went to Green Bay and did that exact same thing, guess what Green Bay said?
They cut him quick.
They not having that.
No, they cut him quick.
So that's why I say this, man. This get more physical on the back end. This guy's gonna come in here and do that, but don't be shocked, Cowboy Nation. If this is going to be a unique situation as what we call defense coordinator by committee.
Yeah. And that's the bottom line. I think that they did this with, again, for those of you remember, what Coach is saying is, if y'all remember last year when Schottenheimer got hired, one of the things that when Eberflus got hired, one of the things that Jerry and Steve was saying, particularly Jerry was saying, he brings the head coaching experience as almost like these are not his words, but he was saying it's kind of like a crutch for Schottenheimer, who was never a head coach, but he can lean on the experience. Matter of fact, Eberflus says, I'm here to help. That was his words. I'm here to help Coach Schottenheimer. Lean on me with his experience and all that type of stuff. Yeah, and what Coach is saying is that it's almost the same exact scenario with the guy that's never been a play caller, who was primarily a secondary coach, who never has called a play. White Cotton has not done it, but has never done it either. But what White Cotton is known as is a defensive line coach. And what Coach is saying is a committee. White Cotton, you got the front end, and then I got the back, and let's just make it work. That's what Coach is saying. And you know and it makes perfect sense.
I don't know what the linebacker coach that they had here, what was his responsibility, because in every defense coordinator, they got run game coordinator. So I don't know if the linebacker coach may have been the run game coordinator here. So their run game was doing good at the end of the season. So they may keep the linebacker coach. I think the linebacker coach is an experienced coach. He's got more experience, right?
They did well in the run. I mean, once Quentin got traded, overall,
I just think
they was top 15 in the run.
This was a cost cutting. This was as I said before, it was either the expensive way, the economy way, or the cheap way. This was a definite economy way to fix the defense. And as I think it's one of those things that Jerry's always thinking, that we can find the diamond in the rough in coaching and say we got the guy, because if he does well, we're still gonna get more credit because we wanted to find the guy that was a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have brought the guy in here. I don't know if they would have brought a Raheem Morris in here. I don't even know if Ashadi would have been on that boat with that because
they never requested to interview him. So that
never requested to interview him. I would listen. I posted on Twitter today the guy that they what's the guy Weaver.
Yeah,
I like Weaver from Miami.
Yeah,
because again, he got skins of the wall. He's coached veteran players as well as he let veteran players go, and the defense got better. So when he let his veteran players go, like Ramsey, and he let the defensive lineman go, the last half of the year the defense got better. Weaver was a good candidate, and he had interviewed for a lot of head coaching jobs. So I thought he would have been a good candidate because if you interview from a head coaching job, you already think that this guy has a tendency to put a staff together, as well as he's know how to manage and put stuff together.
Well, he's done it before. That's just the bottom line. He has experience in what to do. Everything that what coach is saying, he really ain't. Don't get it wrong. He ain't shooting down, and neither am I. We're not shooting down Christian Parker, but what we are saying is, it means something when you've done it before. And what coach said, even when I asked him about Leonard, no, Leonard has not coached on a pro level, but he has experience in the functions of being a D coordinator because he did it in college. That means something. And everything that this dude is gonna do, 34 years old, Christian Parker, we ain't saying he ain't a good coach. What we are saying though is everything he gonna do is kind of like for the first time. Well, everything he does, the first meeting, that's the first time. The first game, the first preseason game, that's gonna be the first time. The first week 1 game, and he gonna be learning on the fly. The first pressure moment. You see what I'm saying? The first pressure moment. That'll be the first time. And what coach is saying, and a lot of you agree as well. Yes, he's young. Yes, he's an innovative coach. My understanding is that Coach Parker has a lot of respect around the league with other coaches. We don't know him, but the coaching fraternity knows him. That's good. But it means something when you got a guy that know what he's doing. And I see you, Leo. I see you say Ellis is here and Coach Gunther is here. I don't know if they're here or not because I don't know if we're going to keep him on staff or not. I don't know that.
He said Ellis because they got rid of Greg Ellis. They gave him 1 year.
Yeah, in 1 year. I don't know who's going to be.
What he said about Shane Gailey is he's right. Cowboys have had a knack of giving guys different. Kellen Moore went from a quarterbacks coach his first year quarterback. He went coaching about 2 years, and they gave him the reign of being an offensive coordinator on the Dallas Cowboys. Jason Garrett went coaching them with. I don't even think Jason Garrett. He skyrocketed up. Yes, Dave Campbell never was a head coach, and they gave him to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So, like I said, Jerry has this thing about I want to try. He is still, and I'll say it again. One thing Jerry said when back in Jimmy, and he's still standing 10 toes down on it, that he can get talent and he can get anybody to coach talent, and he think that he can get enough talent around him, and that can make the coach. I've always said this. We have had a philosophy of trying to build up coaches where we should be building up players.
Let me ask you this, Coach. Go back to that safety thing because I ain't talked to you, and I of course I try to get on to listen to you when I can. I'm quite sure you do that. Coach Marv is one of the best in the game because you come from a coaching position, it means something, especially those that have done it. And Coach Marv is one that has done that. Let me ask you this, Coach. Do we want a veteran safety or do we really want to draft one? Now, Taylor Downs is there. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about somebody like Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's a free agent. That's what I'm talking about. A Minkah that's done it, highly physical, productive player, or do you want to go young on this part? I'm just saying.
Let me explain with defense. And you see this all around the league, right? There might be a person here and a person there on the defense, maybe one veteran here, two veterans. But when you're building a defense in the NFL, you build it young. You go young and you go wide open and you draft it every year. You can run with veteran offenses. Offenses are good with veteran offenses. Defense, you need to have young guys that don't have no hiccups in them. They hadn't started, the oil stick, it hadn't started leaking oil. They don't have no lights on the dashboard. Mika Fitzpatrick got some lights on the dashboard because when Pittsburgh traded him away, they're bringing the old Jalen Ramsey, and Miami's not re-signing him. The name is there, but there's some lights flashing on the dashboard that you about to acquire that you saying that, there's a reason why a guy like that is still being floated around. That's why you go with young defense. Let me tell you what happened with the Washington team. They went old, and that's why their defense was behind us. They got a bunch of old guys out there playing defense, which they're half step slow. Then when you go get a bunch of young guys, like the Eagles defense is young guys. The Seattle defense, they got a couple of veteran guys, but they're young guys. All these guys, the Texas defense is young guys. Young defense, veteran offense. Go get these guys. Draft you of safety is not this thing about where you can't get safeties to play or because they rookies or whatever. Well, I tell you what, the Eagles won with two rookie guys.
They did.
You're probably gonna get some better guys with this because you're gonna get first round draft picks.
Yeah. And for those of you that haven't really gotten into the draft and the players and all that, let me tell you something. The safety room is deep this year. Now, no, ain't nobody like Downs from Ohio State. But right after that kid from Oregon, I forgot his name. He's pretty good and he's projected to go in the first round himself. But you got some safeties, that's probably gonna get picked maybe third, second, maybe there's a couple that got second round grades. You got plenty of them that are third round grades. Those guys can play. Yeah. And you ain't got to be just a first round guy to be that guy. Let me ask this, Coach. It just hit my brain. I'm sorry. And I know you probably going to say something about that. But they banking a whole lot on Revel, ain't they?
Oh, yeah, they should. I mean, they should. Why?
I'm saying when you get this guy, and I believe that's another thing, that he done developed, the gene, and then Quinyon, Mitchell, they 2-time first team All-Pro. I wouldn't be since Diggs ain't coming back. I'm saying, Revel gonna be starting next year, no question. And he's coming out. He'll be way better than what he was. He shouldn't have played this year, but I'm quite sure he's gonna be ready to go next year. They depending on Revel to really step up this year.
They depend on Revel. Butler will be back. Butler will be totally healthy next year. They had a lot of when they were Butler, and Butler didn't play at all. No.
Yeah, he was ready to go.
But I say it like this. That's what our over exaggerations about players. Man, when you're a rookie as it is, and if you don't go through training camp, your season is probably almost washed.
Yeah. So
he doesn't go through training camp. Then he starts practicing 5 weeks in the season. And then when we get a guy to catch the ball on him and he catches a touchdown and he's there. It's not like the guy left him way behind. He's there and he get a card on and the first thing we say, man, he just ain't got it. Duh.
Yeah.
Listen, it takes the guy. He's going through training camp and then he's on a dysfunctional defense that has no confidence. Now this guy's coming in. This is where this guy's going to have. There's a lot of young guys in the secondary that probably can play, that need to have confidence, but their mentality needs to be set in this thing. But where I think we're going wrong at, big time, if we bought this guy to be a glorified secondary coach, we're attacking the defense in the wrong way. You never go to fix a specific problem from last year. You fix the whole thing. It's not that you go and say, okay, well, we lost the race. I just changed this one tire, and the tire with it, and we're gonna be better. No, the race is everything needs to be tinkered with. Everything needs to be adjusted. We need to have a solid, sound defense, because every year that we go in saying one unit is good, guess what happens? It gets destroyed.
You get destroyed. Yeah.
We went in this off season, and nobody made no big to do about getting some secondary guys. We said it was all right. We worried about second wide receiver.
Yeah.
But I kept telling them and said, listen, you can get a second wide receiver, you can catch 1,000 yards. If you ain't got no defense, what's going to happen? Duh.
Yeah.
I can tell you this. Give me a dog defense, and Pickens can walk, and we'll still score 30 points a game and still be dominating.
Well, no question.
But what we're going to have to do is we're going to need a guy like Pickens, because where our mentality is, and I'm trying to get people, I got T-shirts coming out big time.
Okay.
And my T-shirt's going to say, defense is a weapon in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to push that. Listen, it has to be. I want this defense to say, we are a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And if that comes the case, Dak Prescott would be he would love it, because boy, when you feel like you can go out there and turn the ball over and still be in the game, that
means a whole lot.
Oh man, if Dak was with this Texas team right here, man,
they'd be playing.
Oh man, he'd be playing the Super Bowl, and guess what? He wouldn't have no great numbers, because he would just make a few plays.
Yeah,
and that's all you need to do, and he'll get a few plays and get a lot of credit. Because the guy in New England, I don't even think he ain't leading in no passes that Drake May, but he got a total team around him.
Yeah.
So I just think we just need to have that mentality of being a defensive first thing. But I just think if this is a glorified passing coordinator guy, I think we just over exaggerate and say we just need to fix the passing defense and we'll be all right, and we don't have to do nothing about the run defense because it's okay good. No, that ain't the case. I mean, so we hope we see what they're gonna do with this coaching staff, man. But I just think
it's too much unknown. That's it. We're not saying we're gonna rally behind the brother. Ain't no doubt about that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna rally. We ain't got no choice.
But it's just when you don't, as Coach said, I couldn't think of a better term. He said it best. When you ain't got no skins on the wall, it's kind of hard to,
And I ain't think about what you said, but when you brought that up, he hadn't called the defense. He hadn't been in that pressure part of I got to call this. I got to make this call to everything down.
When he gets on this plane and goes down to the East-West Shrine game, for the first time in his life, he's got to look at the whole entire defense. Now, I'm quite sure he learned a lot from Vance Joseph and watched Vic Fangio do it, but it's a whole different ball game when it's on you. You see what I'm saying? When he went to the Senior Bowl, when he went there, he was specifically looking at corners and safety. Now you got to see the question is going to be from Will McClay, Stephen Jones. Okay, what kind of guys do you like on the defensive line?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of guys do you like from the linebacker position?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm quite sure he has an idea, but he's never ran a system before.
That's right.
And not saying that his system won't work. It's just that everything he does is going to be for the first time.
And guess what else is going to be?
Go ahead.
He in Dallas.
The biggest stage in the world.
And everything he does is going to be on a microscope like no other. So that makes that's why I said that's why you gotta be a special breed. And if you had a now I don't know how his attitude. If you gotta have one of the demanding attitudes, so you can get back people off of you every decision you make. That they'll back up off you. So you gotta be able to back people up off you, and just because you don't, they'll wear you out. And also, I always say this big time. It's not about him. Is yes, standing in front of those players is one thing. But when you're in the position, and
that position.
I hate to say this the same way. When you're in a position, they say if you become a pastor of the church, you're not just standing in front of the people.
No.
Guess who got to be the leader of? You got to be the leader of the trustees, the deacons, and you got to win. They got to be just as attentive as the members.
Yeah.
So when you standing in front of that, you standing in front of everybody. When he's in that defensive meeting, he got to make not only his coaches got to believe in what they're doing and buy in, and then now we can get these players to buy in. If somebody doesn't buy in, you're going to be.
Let's take it a step further, Coach. You're absolutely right on that, but I even add in the offense because if Schottenheimer don't believe that your defense can stop nobody, his play calling may have to change. That's what happened this year. If he know he gonna score 30 and Eberflus defense gonna give up 31, you going for it on 4th and 5 instead of punting the ball. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, because it changes everything. So he got a lot of convincing to do because everybody gonna be looking. This kid 34 years old, man.
He's 34 years old, and that's why I said. That's why the defensive coach. That's why when you come in as coordinator, you like to hire your own coaches. Because when I hired my own coaches, I don't have to win them over. They already won over. Now we just got to work on winning the players over. But when you come in and you are given a staff that's already there, which I think that's what might happen, now you got to win over the coaches. And that's why I say you got to win over coaches that's looking at you and say, "Oh, you 34. I've been in this longer than you. What makes you better than me?" You got to win them over first. And what if you don't? You think they're going to relay your message to the players? The players is going to listen. One thing about players can do. You can't fake it with them. They know who your heart is at. And if you go in there and you got a problem with one of the coordinators or whatever, it's gonna show. And they closer to you, they're gonna side with you against the coach, and then it ain't nothing gonna work.
Yeah, he has to do a masterful job from the beginning. I think Coach said it earlier when he first came on, where he alluded to it, but just to go in depth. This dude, that microscope that Coach was talking about, it's gonna be huge on him, right? Whenever this first microphone get in his face.
Oh, everything he said.
He got to dot all I's and cross T's just in his interview. I mean, when he get in front of the press, right from the start. I'm talking about right, and he gonna see Jerry, and I'm quite sure Coach Schottenheimer gonna be there to kind of, shield him and protect him or whatever. But when his voice go across this microphone in a few days or whenever he's gonna have his press conference, man, he got to hit a home run. Because right there, because the players are listening. Like, this dude, 34 years old, ain't never coached nothing,
and he probably can't demand. There's guys that can demand the room now. That's not the problem.
Like Shotty did. Shotty did it when he first.
But I would say this: when Shotty, but you know something, Shotty demand the room, but Shotty been coordinators
for 20 years.
He
raised in the game,
and he would have a dad that showed him directly how to run it. So this is where, but I can say this: he may have to demand the room, but if I hear in his press conference, if he alludes to saying that we're going to do this together, we're going to put this together, the defense together, right? I would that would set in my mind really that
this committee.
And you know how many committees there were when you had committees? You know how well that work?
Don't work. One voice.
It's always one voice, and there's one voice, and it's got to be one voice that's being they can get input from everybody, but there has to be one voice and one mentality, and one mentality has to lead down. There's no two people gonna have the same mentality. Somebody gonna be saying, well, I don't think that's important, but you think that's important. We need the one voice, and it needs to be a strong voice because we're going as far as the defense is going to take us. I have said that for the last 5 or 6 years, and I will continue to say that. I don't care who you got on offense. I don't care who you got on quarterback. I don't care who you got wide receiver. It's going as far as the defense will take us. That's what with the Kansas City Chiefs, they didn't start winning Super Bowls till their defense got better.
Spagnola.
when Patrick Mahomes had 50 touchdowns and threw for 5,000 yards, they lost. They got blown out in the playoffs. But when he started getting less stats, the defense got better. They started winning Super Bowls. So it's just that point. And I want a defense coordinator that believes that and preaches that to his defense. If he could do that, they make him get on board.
So most of y'all don't know Christian Parker, and I'm not gonna act like I'm the Christian Parker expert. I really don't know too much about it. I know who he coached. As far as his position goes, I know what he did this year. I know he produced 2 All-Pros this season. That means something. I know, he's coached under Fangio and Vance Joseph. Those are 2 great defensive minds. But if you want to do some homework, everybody, it's time to kind of dig in. We dug in on Devontae Jones. We dug in on Leonard. Nobody really just kind of went out to Parker. We got some homework to do. We got to find YouTube clips. We got to find interviews, see what he's saying. And then, of course, we all going to be waiting for his introductory press conference. That's going to mean a lot because you start selling your program right then and there on that first press conference. So that's going to be kind of interesting. But what Coach and I are saying, we gonna support this our team. He gonna get our support, but we kind of go in with caution. Some of y'all gonna go head in, you know what I'm saying? That's fine. But what we're talking about is it's a whole lot of unknowns right here, and it's hard to bank on a bunch of. I mean, you really rolling the dice with that, but. In fairness, let's be honest. I mean, can he get the Cowboys defense past being last in the league?
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, Coach? And see, that's the mentality that's going to get us in trouble. I always say this: if you're trying to just get better defense, if you're just trying to get middle of the pack, when you face a good offense, guess what? You're gonna get it. You're gonna get blowed out. You're gonna get cracked. So I say it like this. I put a homework assignment out to all your people out there, and my people is some of my people out there, all the people out there, right? Yeah. When has the Cowboys ever signed a player or a coach where they had to compete with somebody?
Never. They did that, and the quarterback position is the perfect example of it.
Listen, the guys that they like the quarterback and all that stuff, they don't never let them get free agents, so they have to bid against that. They always got so. They have never signed no player. If it's anybody else competing with them, they don't mess with them. So their coaches, all their coaches they sign, tell me somebody else that wanted them, or they threw a room out there after they signed, but I don't believe nobody really wanted them. Yeah. They like sign people where they have no competition, so they can drive the price down.
Exactly.
And they don't like free competition because free competition will build the price up. And those other guys on that board, when they start talking about other people was seriously about to interview them, and they like them, like Leonard and like the other guy, Jones and all that. Yeah. All of a sudden the tension moved off of them because those people told them, say, hey, I'm interviewing for this, and hey, if you want me, you have to be, hey, show me how much you want me.
It's a bidding war.
So when they say, hey, we're gonna go with the guy that's probably only gonna still be did he interview any place else to be a coordinator?
They said that he got a spot at Green Bay. But when it comes to that, you know what I'm saying, the Rooney Rule type thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they say.
Yeah, they're not serious about it. They want to get a black guy say we interviewed a black.
Just like the people said when talking about it's crazy how they'll come up with rumors about how somebody else was signed. I remember they talking about that the Pittsburgh Steelers were gonna sign LVE. They were gonna give him a contract.
Yeah.
Come on. But like I said, again, they're gonna spill this, and that's what this department supposed to do. But it is hard to spill a guy and to sell this guy with this resume. I didn't know his resume till I looked at it extensively today. And when I saw my alma mater on there that he worked at Norfolk State, at Virginia State.
What did he do there, coach? Was he a
defensive back
secondary coach? Okay.
So he started at Virginia State. That's his first coaching gig. And then he moved in, because I remember the coach that he was working under Virginia State. The guy that was the head coach of Virginia State came over and became the head coach at Norfolk State. Pretty good coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was working with that guy. So he worked as a defensive back coach, and then he left there and went to. It's not a very extensive background with this guy, man.
Well, he's only 34 years old. I mean,
34 years old.
Man, you know what I'm saying? He ain't, just getting in. But that it's unknowns for me. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying it's a bad hire. I'm not saying it's a great hire. I'm just saying I'm looking in the future. Like, he ain't been in the fish grease yet.
Yeah, but let's say it like this.
And there's going to be some fish grease in Dallas. You understand? When I say fish grease, I mean it's going to get hot real quick.
I say it like this. This is how you can say if it's a bad hire, it's a good hire.
Mm-hmm.
On a general surface.
Okay.
If he was the defensive coordinator that was hired in the New York Giants, what would we say?
I don't know. I may have to lean on Harbaugh on that, coach.
Okay.
If Harbaugh hired this guy we got.
Okay, let's say if he was hired, so first thing we'd be saying, "Oh, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna get over that. That ain't that don't scare us at all."
No,
I say this, man. I know when you talking about being a coordinator and you made the interesting point about calling plays. Yeah, calling plays over, but getting that scheme across to everybody what you want, and it just looks like reaping the signs of they got this guy to try to improve the secondary.
Yeah.
And they're gonna leave the other part because they say the other part was pretty good with the win name. But I'm can say it looked good, but it still wasn't as physical as well, and it could have improved a whole lot too. I mean, why would somebody want to run the ball if you can throw the ball? Why should I?
Mm-hmm.
I attack what you weak at. So again, I just hope that this guy comes in and let's try. If he just come in, if he don't know this, listen. If he don't even know those X's and O's, come in here and be a master motivator to say to get everybody believing that this defense is the one. And when I come to training camp, I give you one of my shirts and say defense is a weapon. He puts it on everybody and says, "Hey, this is our mantra for this year. Defense is a weapon in Dallas." And get everybody on board with that. Let's see how that works to get us fired up and just say, "I want to be ultimately physical and disciplined." If he does that, that's an improvement in the right direction. But he has to win the room, and he's going to be on a big time microscope
immediately, coach.
And if he had more experience, he could make a slight mistake, and he can get over. Yeah, South Carolina State. Yeah, if you had a coach like what South Carolina State got, big time show. I don't know if you ever heard Chanis Berry for South Carolina State.
I mean, man. Come on, I watch football.
That guy is that guy right there can go to the graveyard and get a starting lineup to get out the grave and to get on the football field. And I don't care how old, he can raise them out the grave and say they want to play one more down for them.
Coach, I got a bad girl, and you'll like her. It's your sister. She's a Zeta.
Mm-hmm.
This girl right here, and I'm gonna tell you about her. I ain't gonna tell everybody about this, but she's plugged in a major way. I'll tell you about her offline. I'm gonna bring her on the show one time. You might need to, when I have her on the show, you might need to listen to her, because when you see that right there, trust me, you know if I'm saying this, you know I'm telling you the truth. She ain't just talking. She knows. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna bring her on probably before this week is out. And
and we need, and that's, you know, and
she's a bad girl.
I'll say this one thing about Berry. Should have had and he's one of those guys. If we're talking about a guy that never been a head coach, he went 20 years of being an assistant coach. And then when he finally got his job, finally got his chance, but he had to get his chance in the right spot right here in my hometown at Benedict College. And he had to get in a spot, and I'm not scared to say it, he had to get into a Baptist-based college that will allow him to run the program like he wanted and put the stuff in his program that state support schools won't allow coaches to do. But now he's winning, he can go anywhere now. They don't care now, they let it go.
I want to applaud this Philadelphia Eagle fan that came in.
What is that?
And I can respect what he said right there. He says, y'all got a great coach. He said, CP Christian Park is great, but I don't know about calling plays.
No.
Always had Vic Fangio holding his hand.
That's right.
That's about as honest as you can get right there. Nobody's trying to knock and say he can't coach, but it does mean something. That's what me and Coach Marv are saying.
Yeah,
right?
It means a lot.
When you haven't done it before. And somebody said, well, Leonard ain't done it before. And we would have said the same thing, at least on the NFL level. But it does mean something when you have went through the functions of doing it as a defensive coordinator, even on the college level.
Yeah, the college level. That anytime it's not that much difference, with the game, but it's you calling it in big time games on the college level. And it's not only calling plays, you're putting the defense together. And all eyes is on you to be able to answer any question that comes towards that defense. And their players need to know that you are in control of the total defense. Not because if you're a defensive back guy, they don't expect you to be the ultimate defensive line coach. But there's a certain mentality that you have to get across that you want your defensive line to play. And does this coach have the experience to say, I can go in to demand how I want us to play? And his interview is going to be a very important thing when they introduce him. But I'm not really worried about his words. It's about his actions of how he gets to go on there and do this. But our fan base going to say, we get enough players, he'll be all right.
Yeah. I got a super chat here from my brother Terry. Terry, $2 super chat. He said, I believe he's going to do well and be creative. We all hope so. I mean, he got the job now.
Well,
he there. I mean, we got to rally behind the brother.
Creative. I hear people hear the word creative. Creative works for just a second. You're not going to trick nobody. Listen, man. The NFL is not going to trick you. You got to make sure if they're going to be disciplined. I love that word.
Yeah.
Let's be
fundamentally sound.
Fundamentally sound, and they're going to play it the way they need to play. Yes, you can move some stuff in here, but they got to play it the way. If you watch the Eagles defense, the Eagles defense is number one, and if you go study their defense, they don't trick nobody. They line up basically in the same front. in the base. Listen, defenses say, I play my base, and I play it well to make you adjust.
Yeah.
Because I keep jumping around, offense gets you jumping around and all type of things, trying to get you switching and switching all over. They dominate because offense know what they're gonna do. You trying to you get them to react to you. So the best defenses. Listen here, the Chicago Bears. Go back to Chicago Bears. They played the 46 defense. They ain't changing for nobody. That's what they played. You bring yours in one day. We gonna play the 46 and we gonna play it well and dominate.
I see you, Gold Eye. Let me put your comment up real quick. Say first time for everything. We're not knocking it. It is. He said, I'm just sure he prepared for this moment. Need someone to give you a chance. Hopefully he gets a chance to talk instead of Jerry Jones doing all the talking. Well, you already know how that's gonna go. I mean, Jerry got to be the front man. There's no question about that. He's gonna get a chance to talk. And I think all will be on the edge of our seat.
Everybody got to get their chance, man.
Yeah. Everybody get a chance. We just it still doesn't negate the fact that it's the unknown. We are all hoping that
everybody
this
get
dude
their chance.
come in and go crazy. We hope so.
Everybody get their chance, and I just say like this: it's like driving a car, man. Learn how to drive. Yeah. I'm just saying this: and big time, you trying to say the same thing.
Yeah.
He's starting to try to drive in the middle of California traffic in the rush hour.
There you go.
Not in Idaho on the side street.
Yeah.
His first time on the wheel is gonna be in the middle of LA
on the biggest road that you'll ever get.
Yeah, wide open.
Dallas Cowboys
wide
is the biggest
open.
job. Yeah, you're gonna be on national TV
everybody watching every defensive call. And this is the thing. Every time somebody get a first down or they get a touchdown, they be like, "Oh man, we gotta get tight. You gotta tighten up, Parker."
Yeah, we gonna find out because we gonna say, just like Terry said, scheme has got to be the weapon. Well, what me and Coach Marv are saying, like, that first call gonna be his first call ever as driving a car. Then halftime. Y'all know what the word is, right? Halftime adjustments. When you starting to get lit up a little bit. What kind of adjustment? That'll be his first time. We just saying, like, we don't know, how he gonna respond. We gonna see it. We gonna see, can he make changes on the fly? You know what I'm saying? This is what we got to see. You have more confidence if you had somebody like Coach said, like a Raheem Morris. You have ultimate confidence then.
Oh yeah.
But when you talk about a first time play caller, it's
and you know something. People keep talking about scheme, right? Mm-hmm. And I challenge everybody. When this say if this guy come in and do well and the defense turn around, then I want everybody to take the same. We're gonna watch the same film with Eberflus, and we're gonna watch the same film with this player, this coach. And you're gonna say, well, dog, they playing a lot of the stuff is the exact same, but it looks different. Yeah, because it's played different.
Played different, exactly.
It's played in the right way, and it's played with the right aggression. It's played with the right IQ. That's why, listen here, when Schottenheimer keep telling me, y'all don't listen what Schottenheimer say he want a teacher, right? Yeah. What he was saying was, what we ran wasn't wrong. How we got across and the level of IQ of our players was horrible.
Yeah.
And you could watch that. You would say, man, I say that all year long. I say, man, the defense, what they played was all right. But it seemed like they were playing it like they was some. I mean, I think guys playing zone and guard and not even flowing and even coming close. I was like, man,
what is this?
Zone. They've been playing zone since. And this here, when Diggs said he can't play zone, right?
Yeah.
And he played for Saban, and Saban them played split zones, right? Yeah. They didn't play all man to man. He's lying to everybody.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that it's about.
All right, I lost. Okay, let me bring Coach back. I got you, Coach. Hold on.
First, man.
There you go. There you go, Coach.
But big time, like I said, man, I just hope that this is not a defense by committee. I hope that's not what's coming out. Like I said, I don't know. It may be, but I'm rooting for the guy. I want him to see well. I want the Cowboys to do well.
Yeah.
But it's got to be that we're not just coming here to be an upgrade. I had a show the other day said, are we looking for an upgrade or are we looking for dominance? Yeah. And if you're looking for an upgrade, you're not going to get much better. Mm-hmm. If you're looking for dominance, you're going to be where you want to be, and you got to strive to be dominant, not this upgrade.
Yeah.
And I hope that goes in, but the staff is going to be very important to find out. If it's the same staff, he keep most of this team in here, I'm going to say that this was a hire to keep the same people on the same salary.
Yep.
And this guy kind of got a little bump in this game, and this is a great opportunity for him.
Great opportunity. It gets no better.
I just think we should be
cautious.
Yeah, and Shotty,
a little cautious.
Now Shotty's the next person on the hot seat because the Cowboys gonna pick another hot seat person. We always the media there, and now Shotty's gonna be that hot seat person. But it's just amazing that we're the richest or wealthiest, the most valued organization in the league, and coaching and getting the best of the best coaching you would think that would never be the case.
Wow.
You would think that would never be the case. That's just like the best restaurants in the world that they got a problem with hiring chefs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you gotta be. I understood that the most key thing that we really lack, and we go cheap on that, and our fan base don't call us out for going cheap on that. We allow it to happen. And I was just telling a friend of mine, I said, and it's what we want, because I feel like this. When people say that's much what you want what you accept.
Yeah.
Whatever you accept is what you want.
Wow. Got the Eagle fans. Coach says, Coach Mar, they need you. I see my girl Kels. You see look what you put down, Coach.
What you put down?
Right there. I got it. So I mean, I'll tell you. So she already. I'm gonna find out what she's talking about.
I hope he bringing in his whole staff, man.
I hope he does too.
And that means then if he's doing that, now he's leading from the front. And
there
he's leading from the front. This is gonna make this is key of making a first year defensive coordinator successful, is having people that he trusts around him, and that's gonna help him be successful as a first time defense coordinator. And if he's being able to do that, that means that the Joneses is giving him the correct type of support to make him successful. And
all except White Cotton. White Cotton gonna be there.
And White Cotton's gonna be there. So White Cotton, that's fine.
That's fine. I like White Cotton there.
But if he bringing his other people in, that means the Joneses are giving him the right tools for him to be successful, and the people around him. Because now he's got to make good hires, and this is another thing, big time. When you become a leader, usually you have to learn how to hire people under you. You don't use the workout that first time you hire. Don't use the workout. It takes some trial and error. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Shotty is getting that trial and error because you're like, okay, yeah, I got it may take that. I just hope this young man doesn't have he said, oh, dog, I hired this guy because I thought he was my boy. I thought he was gonna work, but he's not. It takes you some time to understand about hiring guys. Yeah. All these things are things that's why it's called experience. When you get these opportunities, you have to experience. There's some growing pains in doing this, but hopefully that Schottenheim helps him, and that this defense gets the mentality and he gets to grow through those pains, man. But listen, everybody, I'm at, like I said, like the big time said, I'm at Coach Marv Real Talk. That's my YouTube channel. Coach Marv 1914. That's why I'm on X. But come on out and join Coach Marv Real Talk. I never thought I'd have 170 some videos, but I'm still trying to get to that
1,000.
Trying to get that 1,000. I'm about 100 subscribers away from 1,000 to get to that second monetization. But
let's do this since Coach Marv did that. Kels, this your brother. He's a Sigma. I ain't gonna say nothing about that. But he's a Sigma, Kels. So that's your
right,
brother.
Man. That's right. Go Marv, my brother.
Yeah. So I need you, Kels, for sure. Listen, everybody here that is not following, he didn't hook up his channels here. I need everybody to go follow Coach Marv Real Talk on YouTube. I need it. Once we get here, leave here, once you leave the show here, go to Coach Marv Real Talk on YouTube and just push that subscribe. But let's push him. He's close to the monetization thing. Oh Lord, here she go, Coach. Here she go. Oh Lord Jesus. Here we go.
That's right. That's my so raw.
Oh, here we go. So I got her to end the show.
We got to move that into blue skies, man. We got red skies, man. That means bad weather, man.
I love you, Coach. Stop it. I don't want the invasion, the signals with all that. But anyway, everybody, I need you to go to Coach Marv Real Talk on YouTube. You can go to Facebook and follow him on there. That's fine. But I want everybody to go to YouTube Follow Coach Mars
on,
Real
Real
Talk
Talk.
and subscribe to it. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, and then let's get push Coach closer to that 1,000 mark on YouTube, which is real big for Coach. We ain't been doing it long.
I ain't been doing it long.
Doing it long, and he almost there already. So it just goes to show you the quality of people that follow him there. Need everybody to do that.
Yeah.
You got Kels going crazy now. Cause look at the chat. Look at all this stuff. I can't stand it. I can't.
But
stand
we're gonna I'm gonna be doing some other type shows, man. Doing this off season, I'm gonna smile my horizon because I'm gonna be doing some things on basketball and a little bit on football as well.
Bring me on. Cause we got a Laker talk. Lakers doing some dangerous stuff, boy.
Yeah, Lakers. There's another. Yeah, another. I'm a Laker fan and I'm a North Carolina Tar Heel fan. So, so we're gonna be doing it again, and I'm gonna be doing some stuff on the some very serious show coming in the near future with a guy. Where we're gonna be talking about the transfer portal and how the transfer portal and NIL. When we do the research in 10 years and how many kids are being destroyed, not just helped. So
Coach Marv, ladies and gentlemen, got plenty for you. You just hearing a small preview of what's getting ready to come. You need to go subscribe to him right about now, as soon as you leave here. Of course, y'all know me. If you're not following me, just hit that subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, if you're not following me on Facebook, hit that follow button and turn on all those live notifications. And we'll roll like that. I realize that a lot of our brothers, Coach Marv, are on right now.
Everybody. It's hot right now.
Yeah, it's hot right now. So
they hot. It's hot.
All battling for viewers and all that type of stuff. So we, it is what it is. But we had to say something tonight. I'm glad my brother Coach Marv came in.
Yeah, and I'm glad you can. Listen, man, I always credit you big time. You and Boss, man, all of you. I credit, man, because my name got out there by being on y'all shows.
Yeah,
and I appreciate those things, and I'm gonna take this channel and I'm gonna spread it out to do some other things as well. Because I got a lot of things that if anything, if I could say one thing that maybe can help anybody, I have done what God is intended me to do.
There you go. Ain't no doubt about it. Hey, we talked about it. We're gonna talk about it a little bit more. I'm gonna do some homework on it, some more about Christian Parker. I'm not 100% familiar with him. I know of him, but I'm gonna start digging and hopefully I bring some receipts to the next show, and then we'll be able to talk about him a little bit more. I'm anxious to waiting to hear his press conference. But if you want to do order, the Cowboys got things in order. They got their defensive coordinator fly down with them now to the East-West Shrine game and the Senior Bowl coming up. That's what you want. So I get a Cowboys credit for that. And I started off like this, Coach, and I ain't trying to hold up the show. Prolong the show. That I owe Jerry Jones an apology. I don't know if you were with me at the beginning, Coach, but I never thought. I said it this morning. I did a show this morning on the way to work. I never thought, Coach, that Jerry Jones would hire a black man in this position. I know he would hire him for secondary coach. And I said I would be, if he did that, because I thought everybody thought Durante Jones was in the running. I never thought that Jerry would give the keys to a black man in this position. I never thought that. I never thought it. So I owe him, at least on the day, an apology for that, because I misjudged, I guess if you want to say I misjudged his character or whatever, I'm sorry. But what I know he will hire position coaches. He's done that on many occasions. But to be the guy.
Chris Richard was the closest.
He was the closest one, and
he was matter of fact, he really had the back end. He had the whole back end, and Manland had the front. That was one.
Not as a play call.
Hold up. That was basically when he had Chris Richard, they were doing that co-defensive coordinator thing.
Yeah, with Rob Marinelli. Yeah.
You
know what I'm saying? I ain't forgot that. That's what I'm saying. The total keys where there's no doubt that this is the guy. I never thought that Jerry would do that. I just never thought it. And
Well,
of course, that's race baited, whatever you want to call it. I was wrong.
And I say this, man, and check this. Everybody, check this out. Defensive coordinators and defensive-minded head coaches, this league has been known to hire them in plentiful. What they don't hire the African American race in is offensive coordinators.
Definitely don't. Yeah.
They don't do that because when you got the enemy
not the only one.
and you got and then you got what's the guy
enemy got that respect.
No. And then you had the guy that was from the Tampa Bay Brian Leftwich.
Yeah.
And when Leftwich and the enemy, after they had won 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And they wasn't even in the NFL as no offensive coordinator nowhere.
They got jobs.
That means this is something.
Yeah.
Right.
But they don't even give Leftwich credit. They say, when you got Tom Brady, he give Leftwich no credit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but listen here. But Leftwich was the offensive coordinator before Tom Brady got there. And they had no one offense, but they had a quarterback that threw 30 interceptions, 30 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's not even in the NFL. So
I ain't thought about it, actually.
I just don't understand. So you get defensive coordinator. They can be defensive coordinator. There's a lot of black defensive coordinators in the league.
Yeah, and
I don't think it's maybe one.
We just ain't had that in Dallas, though, Coach. And we done had some. We just ain't never had, and I ain't think that was gonna happen ever. But you know what I'm saying? I gotta bow down to Jair today. I gotta bow down.
He can ever be, and he's too young to be a surprise head coach.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So
all right, let's shut it down. We've been on, man. Thank you, Coach, for popping in on me, man. Love you, brother. Hey, we out of here, man. Thank y'all for hanging with us. I'll come back, and I'm quite sure Coach Mar will be back before this weekend is over with. Y'all be careful out there. Kelly says, but we had, 2 black assistant head coaches. And you are right about that, but they ain't really was figureheads, if you let me say that.
Yeah,
that's why I
gave a color of them assistant coach, so nobody would take them, because if you give them assistant head coach, the only way they can get you can take them with this now and make them head coach. That's why you just put on assistant head coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, watch White Card might become assistant head coach.
I wouldn't be surprised. We have the most experience on the staff now.
And then nobody can take him away from him. He make him assistant head coach. Because nobody gonna give him a head coach job. They make him assistant head coach. Watch what I tell you.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. It will fit too, coach. So I believe it.
And then he's assistant head coach, even though the guy's defensive coordinator. He makes me have a little bit more pull because he's the next man in charge and stuff goes wrong with shot having. So watch this. They're going to play it in a certain way where they can pay White Card more than they're paying.
Oh, yeah. The defense coordinator. Definitely. But we got our DC. Let's roll. Let's go, Cowboys. Let's go.
I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, man. We out of here. Hey, thank y'all for hanging with us. This has been the one and the only with Coach Mar, the Big Time Show.